Cece and Rocky. You girls were great in the 91st episode of the Reboot.
We were? That's right. The ratings for that episode were real good. You girls have really turned things around for us.
The whole staff is glad that you're both with us.
Thanks. Lisa, you actually made us look real smooth with these outfits. We're real Ralph Jaguar-ettes.
Ralph Jaguar-ettes?
I think it's a good name.
We'll work on it.
Hey ladies, how's everyone doing?
Just great, Ralph. We were talking about the previous episode of the Reboot.
It was epic, wasn't it? Cece, Rocky, you two were very epic. The way you broke things down for our Jaguars was very amazing. Thanks to you, now our Jaguars know where to go for the web series that they want to see.
Thanks, Ralph. That really means a lot to us.
My girlfriend, Rocky, and my friend, Rocky and I really wanna take Ralph J Images to the top.
And that's exactly where we're going to go.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Anyways, we're going to continue the series Love in Hip Hop Atlanta Review. I already reviewed Lil Scrappy's story.
And we saw that one. You did an epic job on it, Ralph.
Thanks, Rocky. This time, I'll be covering Benzino and Stevie J.
Versus?
Yep. I think it's appropriate since they've been at each other's throats since Love in Hip Hop Atlanta for the third season ended. I have recently done a lot of research on these two, and OMG, there is a lot of story to this to tell. That is why this documentary will have to be in what may be several parts.
Wow. Really?
Some of our Jaguars sometimes get frustrated when any of our episodes are way too long. So, when we cover huge and broad subjects like this, we put it into several parts.
But of course we don't know exactly how many parts this story sub will be in.
Yeah, in this, I'll be mentioning Jocelyn Hernandez, Althea, Tammy, and Mimi Foss as well, since they're big chunks of Stevie's and Benzino's story.
Wow. Ralph, you got it all planned out and figured out.
Ralph has a certain style and mystique when he does reviews on big subjects.
And believe me, they don't get any bigger than Stevie J. This guy is larger than life.
Stevie J is a real piece of work.
Cece, Rocky, how about joining me as I do the review of this?
Oh, you want us to join you as you review Stevie J and Benzino?
Yeah.
Well, we did watch all the seasons of the show, but we haven't done any real in-depth research.
No need to worry about that. I've got that part covered.
Wow. You are so epic, Ralph.
We'd be glad to join you in this.
Then, let's head to the newsroom.
OMG. Rocky, look at this room.
And just look at this TV here. It's so huge.
This is definitely epic, Ralph.
That's how we do it here. We're live, so let's do this.
Oh, we're live? Hey, Jaguars.
What's up, Jaguars? Welcome to another epic installment of the series that we're using to review the VH1 hit reality TV show that has documented the lives of some of the top hip-hop stars. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. This is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, the review, brought to you by Ralph J. Images. Last time, I reviewed the life and career of Lil Scrappy. This time, I'm here to discuss the situation of Hitman Stevie J, aka The Good Guy, aka Sleezo, and Benzino. But the actual subtitle of this review is Stevie J versus Benzino. And joining me for this review will be Disney's Shake It Up's finest. To my right, Funka Babe Cece Jones. To my left, the lovely Rocky Blue. I'm so glad that you're here with me, ladies.
We're just excited to be here with you, Ralph. But, Disney's Shake It Up's finest? Did you just make that up?
And Funka, babe, where did you get that from?
Sorry, I know that kind of threw you for a loop, but I like to throw some curveballs every now and then to keep everyone, including the Jaguars, on their toes, so to speak.
Yeah, it kinda threw us for a loop there. But I really like that nickname for me. Funka, babe. So, let's go with it.
That's what makes you so epic, Ralph. And I like Disney's Shake It Up's finest. It's a good name and it works.
Alright, now the subject is Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. There are a lot of huge entities on this show, but I feel like none are bigger than the stars that we're about to discuss in this installment of our series. Cece, Rocky, you both watched all the seasons of this show.
This show is crazy, Ralph. It did show a lot about the A, as people call Atlanta.
Oh, there are lots of nicknames, slangs, and codes in this area, Rocky. Some even I'm having a hard time understanding. I can research this about 1,000 times and still won't get it. The A is very complex. And like I said in the opening, we're here to cover the feud of Stevie J versus Benzino.
Wow, that's real smooth, Ralph.
Thanks. In order to fully understand this subject, and not to mention break it down for our Jaguars, I feel like we have to start with each of the participants' backgrounds. Let's start with Benzino, whose real name is Raymond Scott. Is a rapper that was born in Boston, Massachusetts, to a Cape Verdean mother and a Puerto Rican father. Benzino was a founding member of a rap group known as Made Men, before finally becoming a solo artist. He has released the following hit albums: The Benzino Project in October 30th, 2001, Redemption in January 14th, 2003, Arch Nemesis in February 22nd, 2005, and The Antidote in August 21, 2007. Benzino then became co-owner of The Source with David Mays, a monthly full-color magazine covering hip-hop music, politics, and culture after the original editors resigned from the publication. Now, Benzino is known in hip-hop history for his beef with legendary icon rapper and producer Eminem. And yes, it was actually Benzino who started that beef with Eminem was a product of the machine that sought to discredit Black and Latino artists' contributions to hip-hop. He released a diss record against Eminem called I Don't Wanna, wherein he claimed that Eminem was not real and true to the rap culture. This racial attack did not fare well with rap fans, and when that song failed to impact, Benzino dissed Eminem again with Pull Your Skirt Up, to which Eminem finally responded with his own diss tracks, including Nail in the Coffin, where Eminem clowns Benzino for being too old to be a rapper and not respected by real lyricists. Eminem then released a second diss, The Sauce, in which he questioned the source's legitimacy and credibility and accused Benzino of using it to help his and his son's careers. Now, according to the research I did, and it is said that Benzino realized that he couldn't compete with Eminem's stardom, so he dragged the magazine into his war with Eminem for short. In the February of 2003 issue featuring Ja Rule on the cover, Benzino inserted a poster of himself holding Eminem's bloody head. So, because of this, Eminem, Dr. Dre, and the Aftermath label decided to boycott the magazine. Eminem, Dre, and 50 Cent appeared on the cover of XXL magazine's March 2003 issue, and Aftermath's parent company Interscope Records decided to pull all advertising from the publication. Then, in the midst of this controversy, the source announced in a press conference that the magazine was in possession of an old tape in which a young Eminem was rapping racial slurs against black women. For his part, Eminem did not deny making the tapes. He claimed that he made them after a bitter breakup with a black girlfriend, a situation upon which he elaborates on Yellow Brick Road on his Encore album. He apologized for making the tapes, but also exhorted the public to consider the origin of the allegations. Nevertheless, Eminem sued the source for defamation and copyright infringement. The federal courts allowed an injunction to limit the distribution of the tape's lyrics. The source ignored the injunction and went forth to publish the entire lyrics on its website and in its magazine. In 2005, after Eminem's motions against the source were dismissed in federal court, lawyers for Eminem abruptly withdrew his lawsuit against the source, stating that the rapper no longer had any issue with the source. Mays and Benzino both countered the withdrawal of the lawsuit, calling it a cowardly move. They both claimed they could finally expose the truth about Eminem and planned to eventually release the racist tapes in a future magazine. It devoted its February 2004 issue to the discovery of the tapes and included a CD of the early Eminem songs with the magazine. Nevertheless, the source was satisfied with the results and felt that the move was considered a win. Later, Benzino and the source would urge video and radio stations to ban Eminem's video, Just Lose It, and issue an apology to Michael Jackson. The video depicts Jackson in a negative light, and the publication wanted to boycott the rapper in spite of their efforts. BET was the only network to ban the video. BET claimed Benzino was not the reason for the banning, but rather that it was out of admiration for Jackson. Eminem released the single like Toy Soldiers, from Encore, in which he states he'll walk away from it all before it gets any further. Undaunted, Benzino responded by saying M did not want to fight anymore because he was scared. While visiting a Detroit radio station, the publication founder Mays and Eminem got into a heated dispute, which resulted in Benzino feuding again. This time his beef included rappers 50 Cent, Busta Rhymes, Trick Trick, and many others who were associated with Eminem. There were numerous reports that Benzino had threatened editors to write a critical piece about G-Unit after comments were made by members of the group. When Mays was injured after a confrontation with Busta Rhymes, Benzino began criticizing and dissing him. The aftermath from feuding with Eminem caused seemingly irreparable bad damages to the magazine's credibility. This forced Interscope and other record labels to pull advertising from the source as well. But then Benzino and Mays would have yet another issue that would eventually land him into a court battle. Kimberly Osaro, a female writer for the source, whom had been a writer for this magazine since 2000, as an associate music editor, filed a claim of sexual harassment at the source to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and Osaro sent an email to the magazine's Human Resources Department outlining her complaint, and after refusing to withdraw her email, she was fired. Her employers claimed that it was because of poor performance, particularly her decisions on the magazine covers and certain negative reviews of artists' CDs. According to Wikipedia.org, after Osaro's termination, she was accused by Benzino, then magazine's co-founder, of extortion and of sleeping around with hip-hop artists. At the trial, Kimberly Osaro did bring the source up on sexual harassment charges and outlined the environment which was present at the magazine. Employees often watched pornographic movies, hung pictures of females in G-strings, smoked pot, and called women bitchs. She also claimed that rumors constantly were made detailing untrue stories of her being sexually involved with industry artists. So, the trial, don't really know why they called it the trial. It was a lawsuit. It lasted about 2 weeks and 8 days. The jury of 6 men and 2 women concluded that while Osaro had not been a victim of sexual harassment, but the co-founders of the source, David Mays and Scott Benzino, had in fact terminated her in retaliation, and that Scott had defamed her character in an interview. So the total judgment was that $7.5 million would be awarded to Kimberly Osaro.
Wow. Now that's epic.
Epic for Kimberly Osario. She then became an editor-at-large at BET Interactive, an affiliate of black entertainment television. In the summer of 2008, Osorio left BET.com to be the VP of Content and Global Grind, where she spent 4 months before returning to BET.com. In September 2008, Osorio released a book titled Straight from the Source, an expose from the former editor-in-chief of the Hip Hop Bible detailing the events of her time at the source.
Did this hurt? The source?
Oh yeah, both the trial and the book apparently. Then Benzino would become angry at Def Jam's founder, Russell Simmons, and Benzino even denounced Simmons on radio for not participating in his smear campaign to expose Eminem. He had used racial comments about Simmons in the past, forcing Def Jam to pull a vast majority of their ads from the source. Later that year, Benzino and David Mays were forced out of the source by its private equity investors, Black Enterprise / Greenwich Street Corporate Growth Partners.
Damn. Looks like they got tired of Benzino's bullcrap.
Well, Benzino's bullcrap was hurting the source.
Well, in 2012, Osorio returned to the source as editor-in-chief to help restore the magazine's credibility and solidify the brand's place in the hip-hop arena.
So, Kimberly Osorio, the one lady that sued the source, came back years later to save the source. Real funny how that worked out.
What about the beef between Eminem and Benzino?
It eventually stopped, amazingly. In his encore album, Eminem made a song titled Like Toy Soldiers to try and squash the beef, and it was real good. And in turn, Benzino made his hit single in response to that called Look Into My Eyes to squash the beef as well. Benzino's song and video was real good too. After that, they didn't make any more songs or diss each other after that.
Wow. Sounds like they just ran out of gas.
No, not so much running out of gas. They wanted to stop to move on to other things. I think it's real good that the beef was squashed. It was spiraling way out of control. And I got to say that Benzino made a song / video to diss Eminem called Die Another Day. I saw that video and I was really feeling it until the song got to the part where Benzino talked about Eminem's daughter and even insulted Haley. And I'm just thinking, oh man, why did he have to do that? Why did he have to bring Eminem's daughter into this? That's like committing a war crime.
A war crime?
Yeah, a war crime. Even way back in high school, we knew that it's okay to beef with somebody, but we don't bring the other person's mom, dad, or other family members into it. And Benzino broke that rule.
In that song, Benzino was telling Eminem to leave Benzino's kids out of it, but then he goes and mentions Eminem's daughter in the song.
It got real ugly real quick. And Benzino took some heat from that, obviously. In the first season of Love in Hip Hop Atlanta, Carly Red said that prior to being on the show, Benzino pissed a lot of people off.
But he was still able to come out with albums and videos?
Yep. Hit singles like Rock the Party and Rollin'. When Benzino premiered on VH1's reality show, Love in Hip Hop Atlanta, that is when I discovered that he had co-founded Hip Hop Weekly, a magazine very similar to The Source. It reports news about the hip-hop industry.
Is Hip Hop Weekly competing with the source?
Obviously, since they both cover hip-hop songs. Benzino and Carly Red's relationship actually played out on the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. They met and started dating, and their relationship only lasted that whole season.
It seemed like things were going good at first for both Benzino and Carly, but then things got sour.
Yeah. They began to argue a lot. And Benzino kept getting pissed off cause Carly was never where she said that she would be.
That's kind of controlling.
And Benzino said that the reason why he got angry is because Carly would make him angry. You know, for me, just watching this relationship between Benzino and Carly Red was a trip. And about toward the end of the season, Benzino actually bought a ring. He bought the ring and was very close to proposing to Carly Red. He even pulled it out and showed it to the girl. But since Carly was having doubts, Benzino was too. So Benzino put the ring back in his pocket because Zeno and Carly weren't rocking no more.
And that really pissed off Carly and she said, F you, Benzino.
And that pretty much ended it.
When the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta ended, so did the relationship of Carly Red and Benzino.
And they fought a little in the second season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta because Carly told Jocelyn that Benzino said that he smashed Jocelyn.
Smashed? You actually said smashed, Ralph.
In Atlanta, that's the term used for when a guy actually has sex with a girl.
That's putting it mildly. You have a way with words, Ralph.
Thanks. And as you saw on the show, Jocelyn said that, that didn't happen. And Benzino said that he never said that he smashed Jocelyn. And Benzino and Stevie J went at each other simply because of Carly saying that he said it.
Then, Jocelyn and Stevie J confronted Carly Red about that whole situation, and after they exchanged some bad and harsh words, Jocelyn and Carly Red started swinging on each other. Then weeks later, Benzino and Stevie J were actually cool again.
Wow. Sounds like the drama in high school.
My sentiments exactly, with all the he said, she said, and the bickering back and forth between the castmates. And just like in high school, the people on this show actually come to blows, literally. So let's stop right here, take a break, and we'll continue this in part 2 of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Review. Stevie J versus Benzino.